Om. Oh, Happy New Year, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to Psychic Frank's Mystery School. So much is, I have everything strewn on the table. So much I want to share with you guys. And I was just looking for this tarot card. I thought I'd start with this tarot card. It's the Eight of Swords. This is a great book, by the way. I found it at the library garage sale for $1. They have it on good days when it's not raining on them. They have it there. And it's the eight. Well, you can't see that. I was looking to see it here, but I don't want to go through 78 cards to find this one. But I could explain it to you, but I might as well. I've already gone this far. Let me see. It's only a couple more. We're almost through the deck. Let's see what we got here. No, it can't be. No. Okay, yeah, I'm not finding it. Well, anyways, the woman standing in mud with the swords behind her, and she's hoodwinked, and she's got the... she's wrapped up there, you know, and it says, in short, nothing prevents her from just leaving. Yeah, she cannot tie herself anytime she wants and walk away from the Eight of Swords. And it's a powerful card. Eight's a powerful number. I like, this was important, and I've been wanting to share this for months, and I keep on leaving it at home, but I find it today. I'll get it out of the way so I don't have to think about that anymore. The clue to this card is the blindfold, symbolizing confusion, oppressive ideas, isolation from other people in similar situations. What political liberationists call mystification, keeping people, quote unquote, keeping people down, not by direct force, but by training them to believe in their own helplessness. It's like when they wire the cage, they do an experiment with the dog, say, and they put it in a cage and they wire it up and they leave the cage door open. Every time the dog tries to leave, he gets a shock, so that he just doesn't give up anymore. Even if they say, it's okay, you know, he won't, you know, so it's a learned behavior. And I like what it says, they believe in their own helplessness. A lot of people are, I think, suffering from that. In that remarkable way, to believe in their own helplessness. In that remarkable way, the tarot has of summing up a complex situation. The card can almost stand as a diagram for the oppressed condition. So he talks about recognition of ignorance is the first step. Tibetan Buddhism is all about that. Wake up in the morning and celebrate. Oh, I don't know nothing. I'm going to learn something today. Everything that Donald Trump is. You know, I was making some, you know, in between shows, I have a notepad on several desks in my little studio I share with my parrot, and I make notes. And I was watching Donald Trump give a speech the other day, and I said, you know, they do sound better in the original German. You know, Adolf Hitler threw a lot more spine into it, you know. Even I remember Khrushchev took off his shoe and banged it on the table, you know, when he at the UN. To Kennedy there, the Cuban Missile Crisis. Yeah, I've lived through a lot. 70 years, wow. Oh, I'm real excited about the 7th of February. Cohen testifies that Donald Trump, a Russian operative. It's a fact now. It's a fact, Jack. The man's, they call him a useful idiot. Yeah, he is an idiot, that's for sure. So I was looking at what's going on astrologically on February 4th. And I do want to talk about the January 20th new moon, Leo lunar eclipse, rather. Sun and moon, full moon. And we just had a few days ago, the beginning of this year, the Capricorn, Capricorn solar eclipse. Yeah, it was a super solar eclipse. The moon was very close to the Earth, and we're going to talk about that too. So we're just into this, so there's plenty of time. Breathe, Frank. You can get it all done. We probably won't, but we'll have fun, I hope. Uh, I live and move in a safe and secure world. I live and move in a safe and secure world. Today, the universe fills my life with rich experiences. That's better than saying I want a new boyfriend or I want a lover or I want this or that, you know. So many people have this experience and then they want to recap it and it's never the same. You know, just enjoy things and let them go. But we have this attachment. People, it's food, places, experiences, people. I think I know we're people of history of habit. We're creatures of habit, is what I was fishing for. Yes, Saturn and Pluto is it's what it's all about. Yeah, Saturn is it's understanding authority and understanding inner authority, spiritual authority. So that's the Cancer Capricorn opposition there. A big Pluto rather in Capricorn, Saturn in Capricorn rather. The Cancer stuff is the North Node, South Node. Yeah, the Dharma and the Karma. The Cancer is the Karma, the Dharma, the way. The cuddly Cancer now, the secure. That's why I want to talk about security. No treaty. Nothing's going to make you feel secure except your mind. Security's in your mind. That's why it's important to remind yourself that your higher power. Oh yeah, we're going to get some good stuff here. The impact of this nodal axis just started. We're 1 month into it. Okay, November 6, 2018, the moon's north node and south node axis changed it. The nodal axis. See, the north node is the dragon's head, the way out. The dragon's tail, the south node, it's karma, it's not good energy. It's redundant. It's where you had past life stuff going on, and many times. And to do it one more time, it would be a waste of this life. So it's important to go through the north node. So we're all born with the north node, south node axis, but the north node does change. And it's interesting because it goes counterclockwise, and it's now 26 degrees Cancer, right on America. The United States of America's got Mercury 24 Cancer. So the North Node is heading towards our that happened in 2001. It says axis and shifted. Okay, so it exited the Leo Aquarius. So for 18 months, 2 years, we had our uniqueness, the Aquarius, our unique weird gifts. I don't like to judge things as weird, but unusual. And through that heart, the Leo. And now it's time to, now it's shifted. Now the North Node, we're like 3 weeks, 4 weeks into it. On November 6th, it happened. It shifted into Cancer Capricorn. So it went 29. It went from 0 Leo to 29 Cancer. And now the continuum for the next 2 years of the lunar nodes will bring the polarities of the feminine and the masculine into balance. Saturn, the masculine, Cancer, the feminine. The North Node, the Dharma, what you have to do. Like one of the dharmas of the basic dharma of Tibetan Buddhism, I've talked about it on one of my shows there on YouTube, is to appreciate, get to know paradoxes, get to look for them, open yourself up to the paradoxes. And then karma is the North Node. The impact of this nodal axis varies based on your chart, but regardless of which domains it, of course every house is a domain or an arena of activity, which domains it activates, the central theme will ask us to balance emotional security with steadfast determination. Emotional security with steadfast determination. And then I've been reading this astrologer, Eliza Kelly Faragher, author of The Mixology of Astrology, Cosmic Cocktail Recipes for Every Sign. Well, you know Psychic Frank's going to read that one, and then I'll be able to tell you all about what I get in there. For both signs, she says, safety and security are huge themes. Cancer works on emotional security, family, and we are dealing with a global world now. Everybody's our family. And Cancer supports it through hard work and discipline. So yeah, the work ahead is not easy. We got a gas Jones. Grandparents, what happened to the planet? Well, we were drunk on gas, honey. The whole planet was. That's their excuse. Well, everybody was doing it, I'm not. Yeah, that's bad. Oh, yeah, I heard the belief system. Talk about belief systems. This is the Mind Body Code, Mario Martinez. Wonderful book. I just started it, and I read very weirdly. I don't read cover to cover. I go all over the place, but I get it done. It's my own little process. Okay, and I was looked up from the TV because I could watch CNN or MSNBC and get some reading and work done on the computer or with books, and if I don't, and I heard this guy said their belief system is, if I don't view you as an equal, I cannot be empathetic to how my behavior cannot impact you. And I said, this is that guy King in Iowa, the racist King guy, who is living in the dark ages of racism. And that really is an interesting belief system. He can't be empathetic. It's that Donald Trump too. It's that whole I got mine, you get yours, that racist thing. If I don't view you as an equal, they don't see people of colors as their equal, and it's a shame. They're missing out on a lot. It's like people who don't read. They're missing out. They're only having one lifetime. When you read, you get to have all these lifetimes. I got to tell you about this Martinez guy. He's amazing. He's an amazing guy. There's just something here about learning from imperfect teachers. I might as well get that out of the way so I don't have to think about it anymore. And he says, the whole paradigm of bringing unity, biocognition, well, we're not going to get into all that here because it's a lot, and I don't have it all sorted out in my own mind yet, but trickle-down economics, right, trickle-down misery, that's all that Ronald Reagan started there. Coined the term paradigm shift to illustrate the robust change it takes takes place under these circumstances. A new theory is formed to accommodate information that contradicts old theories. First, there is disdain. The new theory and its proponents are met with scorn. This is followed by doubt, the new theory's validity. Finally, when the old theory can no longer be defended, the paradigm shifts to accept the new evidence. And I put i.e. The trickle-down economics. If after 40 years now, it's a failure, a dismal failure. It led to Citizens United. So, and on page 195 of this fabulous book, I read things slowly, I'm in no rush. Got plenty of time. Excuse me. Learning from imperfect teachers. One of the best ways to find imperfect teachers is straightforward. Avoid those who believe they are perfect. So don't let's debunk perfection and the merchants of platitude. So let's now isn't that funny? I had a Freudian slip there in front of God and everybody. So now let's debunk perfection and the merchants of platitudes. One of the best ways to find imperfect teachers is straightforward. Avoid those who believe they are perfect. Yeah, that's fabulous. Beware of gurus who ... tell you to find stillness. Nothing from the chains of amino acids to the present moment experience of mindfulness is ever still. Movement is life. semicolon, the embodiment of perception and confirmation that you are in synchronicity with all that exists and transcends. Unless you're dead, even your deepest serenity has movement. Rather than embrace the illusion of stillness, explore the movement of discovery. Isn't that beautiful? Rather than embrace the illusion of stillness, explore the movement of discovery. It was tribal control of wonderment that turned an quote unquote abundance of curiosity into quote unquote attention deficit disorder. Wow. Woo! I love that. And he also, there's this one thing I want to talk here about money, you know, and I had it underlined in yellow, but then I underlined everything in yellow, so I can't find it. I can't find it. Oh my God. Well, it'll be on my list next time. It'll be on my. It really caught my attention, you know, because he talks about even people who win. Well, I think it's right here. Okay, and this is chapter 10 from Mind Body Code by Dr. Mario Martinez. And he says, from wishful thinking to sustainable action, and the anthropology of cause and effect, research in mind-body disciplines such as, like $10 word, psycho neuroimmunology or something. God, that's like a whole big word, like that much. And cultural. My Venus and Libra don't deal like that's too much work for my Venus and Libra. See, my first impulse is to get somebody to say that, hire somebody to say that. So that's how I roll. Cultural neuroscience is beginning to clarify why it is that wishful thinking, appealing to reason, and disembodied guided imagery have limited effects on changing our dysfunctional behavior patterns. Biocognitive theory and practice offer a missing component, semicolon. This is key now, listen up. You cannot sustain positive mind-body change unless you have a fundamental sense of self-worth that enables you to accept the benefits you can gain from the change. According to a biocognitive theory of perception, our perceptions are culturally learned. When we are confronted with challenging conditions, whether positive or negative, we respond with culturally learned interpretations that lead us to either feelings of empowerment or feelings of helplessness. And the cultural beliefs we apply to interpreting our challenges have horizons that expand or contract. Love expands, fear contracts. Expand or contract based on our level of self-worth. When we are that is so important because so many people are told they're worthless. I mean, I was told I was worthless because I was born illegitimately in the 40s. I'm old, you know, and back then, being a bastard child, they whispered about when you went to the room, people, oh, there he is, you know. Well, Diana Ross and I are practically the same age. Love child, different from the rest. Ashamed. Yeah, it was all none of my adopted cousins. They'd always say, you're not really related to me. And I would say, good, I'm glad I'm not. But anyway, yeah, it was a rough world. I'm so glad now that, you know, people there, you know, I think marriage was overrated, you know. I think marriage is overrated. You know, I married a parrot without even knowing it, but I digress. Yeah, you cannot sustain positive mind. Okay, so it's all about, you know, based on self-worth, you know. Look in the mirror. We're going to give you a whole lot of affirmations about self-worth. You are the fountain of the sun's light. I am I am a willow shadow on the ground. You make my ruggedness silky, roomy, you know. There's a whole lot of I am an unlimited being, accepting from an unlimited source in an unlimited way. And then he says right here, When we are confronted with turbulence in our lives, whether good or bad, we assume the cause and determine its effect based on our cultural history. In other words, the tribes in which we live teach us to assign certain causes to our circumstances and to respond in preset ways. A good example. Now, this is the one I read it over and over again because it rubbed me the wrong way. It's like a pearl in the clam or the oyster, and the oyster makes that sand into a pearl by This is how this sentence. I'm going to read it right now. So listen up. I hope you have the same example of this I had, and then go to the YouTube tomorrow. I'll upload this show and listen to this. You could rewind it back and forth. And it says, as a good example of this is that Americans form economically deprived. Okay, a good example of, he says, when we are confronted with turbulence in our lives, whether good or bad, we assume a cause and determine its effect based on our cultural history. In other words, the tribes in which we live teach us to assign certain causes to our circumstances and to respond in preset ways. A good example of this is that Americans from economically deprived families who win the lottery, lose their fortune on average within 18 months. They were taught that wealth is not an option. So if everybody's thinking and watching this and think, there's nothing in my life that money wouldn't fix, wrong. Please, read this. Because you're missing out. We're here to refine our gold, burn off our gold. Such a waste of life. When I see Donald Trump, it's such an example. His life is not meaningless. It teaches us all to read. And what a terrible thing. So, so it says, okay, so that's enough there. I love that. Rather than embrace the illusion of stillness, explore the movement of discovery. Yeah, when you wake up in the morning, it's like, okay, like with Uranus now, for everybody, expect the unexpected. Because Uranus is back in Aries direct now, as of like the beginning of this month, January. And then it goes into Taurus come, give you the exact time and date there here in California. Uranus goes back from 2945 Aries at the end of February to 0 Taurus on the 6th of Wednesday, the 6th, Uranus enters Taurus again. Now in May, Uranus entered Taurus. That hasn't happened for 84 years. And then a month or so later, it went up to 28 degrees Aries. I mean, 3 degrees Taurus, almost 3 degrees Taurus. And then it went retrograde back down to 28 degrees Aries. And then it just went direct to the beginning of this month, the 6th of this month. And now on the 6th of March, Uranus goes back into Taurus. And isn't that interesting? On the 7th, Michael Cohen does his singing like a canary to the courts, to the Congress, in which he was the go for there. He was Donald Trump is a Russian. They're gonna get him handcuffed, and it's gonna be great. It's pathetic in a way, but the universe isn't sympathetic. I don't believe. Anyway, that's my little theories there. So back in Taurus. So I'm looking at the 7th here. No, that's February 7th. Okay, we're talking February 7th, Thursday, February 7th. So that's not the, I was looking at March. No, that's, March is the Pisces new moon on March 5th. No, and then the next day, Uranus goes back into Taurus on that new moon. So Uranus is 29 Aries now. So all you people get ready for the 8 year now. Uranus will be back in Taurus for 8 years, bringing stability and truth, justice, in the American way. Speaking of all those Jupiter things, Jupiter's in Sagittarius. And on the 24th of January 20th is the lunar lunar eclipse. Leo lunar eclipse. Sun in Aquarius, moon in Leo, full moon. And that happens on the Monday the 4th, 15 degrees. We're going to talk about that, 15 degrees Aquarius. But on the 7th of that month, February 7th, Michael Cohen will be testifying. So Saturn, I looked, will be 15 degrees Capricorn in his 5th house in opposition to his Jupiter. But what I saw about Jupiter, 18 degrees, there's a conjunction going on with Jupiter to his moon. That's why he's coming clean. Yeah, Jupiter on his moon. Yeah, the last time, it's been a couple of years since Jupiter was in Scorpio. Actually, it was last year. And that's when Jupiter, so he was born with Neptune in his south node in Scorpio, retrograde, south node, north node, retrograde. So there's a past life of bait and switch and doing dirty deeds done dirt cheap. Yeah, and that's why now he's making the most of this. You know, it gives me no joy when I look at Putin's chart. You know, he's been having the Jupiter fun time now, and the Jupiter ride is over for him. Oh no, it's not. No, he's got around November. He's got Jupiter on his Mars. October. Oh, yeah, so, and then Jupiter in Capricorn, so, yeah, he's in, I hate to admit it, but Vladimir Putin is in a good space. Now, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, I'm looking at this, the Cancer North Node now is on his Venus. And that's the Dharma, and the Karma now is... that Capricorn energy for Donald Trump is in his 5th house. So it's going to be going more and more towards Sagittarius. I think Donald Trump's in more trouble with Pluto. Pluto, 22 degrees Capricorn. His Saturn is 23, conjunct his Venus in the 11th house. So having... Saturn in Capricorn, the planet of Dharma, karma there, karma. Not the Dharma, the karma. Dharma is the way out, you know, having a good belief system. You know, karma isn't just a good idea, it's the law. You know, you can't escape your karma. So yeah, he's got a lot of splaining to do. And the thing is, he's probably going to, I don't think he's the type to throw himself on the mercy of the court, you know, and said he was, it's going to be, he's going to be some kind of a show. Yeah, because, yeah, he's got a lot of he likes a show anyway. And for Michael Cohen, Robert Mueller, here, chart I'm looking at for Robert Mueller. So this year, the axis is happening on his north node. Why, isn't that beautiful? So all his, he was born with the north node in Cancer, so he's literally in his own element. I believe, I keep on getting this message, and it's so bizarre, I don't even want to think about it, but I think he's going to be like our hero. He's going to be like Clark Kent. You know, he's going to take off his glasses and you have this cape waving in the shape, red, white, and blue cape, Captain America. No, he's so, you know, like Teddy Roosevelt under his statue, it said, walk softly and carry a big stick. Well, his big stick is knowledge, facts, truth, justice, the American way. So Mueller's got all that, but that's his big stick. And I believe in a few weeks, or maybe even a month or so, sooner than later, by mid-February, I believe, right around the 7th, when Cohen testifies, um, um, Robert Mueller is going to be hailed like confetti and the ticker tape parades, like after D-Day and World War II was over and all that. You know, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's a shoo-in, Democrat or Republican, for the for the presidency. And I think he's the type of guy who would think it's his duty to do this, because the North nodes, after it gets 2 years from now, and that will be an election year, will be going to Gemini, North Node, South Node, Sag, and by then too, yeah, he's still a young enough man and in perfect health, I might add. Yeah, because then let me see what else we got there. Let me see what the cards say. I found this interesting stuff about Gurdjieff. I'll leave it here so I don't forget to see that. Oh yeah, so for America now, this North Node stuff is on our Mercury, and then in a couple of months it'll go on to our 7th house, because it goes counterclockwise to our 13-degree sun, and end up 17 months from now on our Jupiter-Venus conjunction. America is very fortunate. Where it gets interesting is Pisces is an intercepted constellation in our 3rd house. We're a 5 life path, the United States of America. Oh, my guides told me to remind people not all, I've never done this. I've been doing numerology for 40, 50 years. This is the first year my guides told me, do the universal numbers. So for the universal vibrations for 2019, if you have a pencil and paper handy, write down 2019, then add it to one digit, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 is 3, so it's a universal 3-year. So add that 3 to your day and month reduced to one digit. See, so for the whole universe now, and we're all global, so we have to start thinking global. We could have done this before. Like Louise says, never should on yourself, you know. I am divine and my life is not meaningless. I am not trapped in meaningless guilt in time. Wow, that's a liberating affirmation right there. Jot that one down if you have a pencil handy. I am divine and my life is not meaningless. I am not trapped by meaninglessness, guilt, meaninglessness. That's another long word, meaninglessness. And then guilt and time, not meaningless guilt. Meaninglessness by itself is enough. And then guilt by itself is another thing that you can get trapped by. When Winston Churchill was asked to cut art funding in favor of the war effort, he simply replied, then what are we fighting for? You know, I love that one. I know I said that last time, but it's worth repeating. Yeah, Christianity is the most perverted system that ever shone on man. Thomas Jefferson said that. Next time you see Jefferson on a bill, remind yourself that this world would be the best. And then John Adams, bless his soul, said, this world would be the best of all possible worlds if there were no religion in it. I don't personally need religion to tell me good from bad. I just know what's right and what's wrong. So anyway, so look up for the 3 vibration now. All occupations that have to do with Mercury are going to flourish. I must be getting hungry. I'm thinking of relish. So we everything from handcrafting jewelry to interior decorating to even decorating yourself, you know. whatever doesn't fit anymore, you know, whatever the vibe, add that 3, as I said, to your day and month. So for, like say for the American, for the whole planet, okay, so it's a 3 vibration. January is a get organized 4. And today is universally 4, and 17 is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 3, communication day. Now for the United States of America, our day and month vibrates to 11, and then 1776 is 3. So 3 and 2 is 5. So we're a 5 life path, and 11 or 2, for the sake of math, we can do 2. 2 and 3 is 5. So America, United States of America, is a 5 life path. It's all about freedom. Get rid of the idea there's ever going to be a dull moment. Every test gives us more and more freedom. Whatever, if we see this as this, see, but we get stuck into, a lot of people get stuck in this it's so valuable. Victims don't heal. You have to have a schooled imagination. People that don't heal, they simply don't have the imagination it takes. Wow, think about that. You know, encourage your kids to have, you know, believe me, they don't have enough time to get serious. I think we have to get away from this Capricorn seriousness now. Use the good stuff of Capricorn is to be disciplined, and be disciplined enough to start nurturing ourselves and not criticizing ourselves, to give ourselves the love and compassion we were born with, as every one of us is a healer. But we right away want to go heal other people. No, healing. A lot of people in the country, and they're so young, and they want to be healers, and they think they already are healers. And I go, honey, you got nothing to give right now. You know, I don't want to. I try to say it as nicely as possible. You know. So anyway, yeah. So it's so for the United States of America now, we're a 5 vibration, and we're in a 6. Now February is going to be a 7. The number 7, as the 7th of February, I believe, when Cohen testifies. Shortly after that, by mid-February, I believe the report will come out, and that's when it's going to be helter skelter. So no, when the facts come out, I hope it's not. I really don't think it's. That's a neurotic laugh I have when I get nervous. I'm not condoning any kind of violence. I believe that 3 vibration is all about. 2 years ago, we planted seeds. Last year, they germinated. This year, we're going to see a renaissance, and it'll be global because everybody's on our side. I mean, we understand now. See, the communication is coming out, and people can't fight facts. They could call them fake facts all you want, but when you realize we have mean, cruel, sadistic people. FDR said you could be a strong country without being a cruel country. They're just being sadistically cruel. Yeah, Jeff Sessions, you know, their families now are completely torn apart. Their only crime is they got brown skin and they were escaping poverty and violence. And yeah, this is not the America all my buddies died in Vietnam for. You know, but I understand. Like on my last show that never got aired for some reason. It was a cursed show. I got maybe 2 airs. I'm sorry about that. Hey, my Bayback's going through some changes here. They hopefully will hire more help. But SF Commons is got 1 kid pulling the whole apple cart, and so I'm lucky this show even gets aired. So, but it's Democracy TV. Thank God for it. So, yeah, I like, this is so important. Yeah, Uranus transits, we are all constantly invited to be who we are. So look for 29 degrees Aries, or type in transiting Uranus to my, whatever 29 degrees Aries falls on, if it falls on any planets in Aries, or if you have anything in Taurus, all you Taurus people, especially low numbers like Taurus moon, Taurus Sun, Taurus Ascendant, Taurus Venus. You want to make God laugh? Tell him your plans. All we really could do is life's like watching waves. Surfers. You got to know which waves are the ones to are going to give you a good ride. Which ones to take? Which ones to ride? Which ones are too deadly? Which ones are a wipeout? It's all about learning to control your mind. And then personally, add the number 3, because it's a universal 3-year, to your day and month. 11 and 22 and 33, you don't reduce to single digits. You keep them elevated as higher number. You keep them elevated, 11, 22, 33, 44. But for the sake of math, we're going to reduce them to a single digit. So reduce your day and month of your birth to single digit, then add that number to 3. And that's what 2019 is for you. Things go in a 9-year cycle. So whether it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, just Google that up. Personal year, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And remember, we're all part of this planet. So it's a year to get off the beaten path, smell the roses, remind ourselves it's the journey is the destination. We're down to, I believe, the last 10 minutes here. Oh, anybody who wants a call, I'm open for calls. Oh, yeah, so I said I was going to do a reading here. Oh, yeah, tact is the ability to tell someone to go to hell in such a way that they look forward to the trip. Winston Churchill said that. Yeah, this president lacks couth. He got no couth. And he's vulgar, barbaric. Oh, he's just... human butt wipe. He's just terrible, terrible person. But if we didn't have him, we'd have to invent him. I say, he'll be a lot easier to love once they hose him down and get rid of all that orange spray paint, get him on the Thorazine shuffle, put him in behind bars where, under lock and key. I can love him then. Now it's hard. It's hard. Well, and I understand I can't hate anybody, because by the time, at 70 years old, I can think, I got 50 years left, So I understand now my life's practically half over. I'll accept that. I'm 70. So I said that to a buddy of mine I've known since we grew up, go back to the 60s. And he said, good luck with that, Frank. Well, yeah, thanks. Yeah, that's my dream. Don't rain on my parade. Well, I've seen dudes. I've been around teachers, Tibetan dudes, who lost track of their age. They were around back in the 50s when the Chinese slaughtered the thousands of innocent Tibetan monks. And, China could be a little easy. It could be a lot better to Tibet, but we don't talk about that because there's no oil in Tibet, just monks. And, if I were king, I'd make sure we refuse to do any business with China until they, I keep on, this morning, I don't know what I was doing, and I was in the bathroom shaving or something, and I pictured that guy in Tiananmen Square who loved democracy, freedom enough to stand in front of a tank, and that's not even seen in China. Chinese kids don't even know that ever happened. So I think of that man, the courage it took for him to stand and get mowed down by a tank for freedom. And so the worst thing to do is don't get involved, just not get involved, James Madison said the purpose of separation of church and state is to keep forever from these shores the ceaseless strife that has soaked the soil of Europe in blood for centuries. Religion is for people afraid to go to hell. Spirituality is for people who have been to hell. And it was an invention of the church. So I'm going to see now. I'm going to do the 9-card spread, and let's see what we got here. Love transcends time, space, and death. Isn't that a beautiful thought? Your beliefs are irrelevant. Dot, dot, dot. It's how you practice those beliefs that matters. And let me see. Oh yeah, and Tesla. Someday we should spend as much time inner space. Uh, yeah, and recovery years ago when I got off Valium and all that, uh, alcohol. Uh, they used to say you're only as sick as your secrets. So when all these secrets are coming out about Donald Trump on the 7th of, oh yeah, so I'll be back here, God willing, on February 7th. Yeah, I'm here the 1st and the 3rd Thursdays now at 5 o'clock here in San Francisco, but most people watch these on Saturdays. So let's see what's going on this Saturday. This Saturday will be the 19th. Let me see how. The day science begins to study non-physical phenomena. It will make more progress in one decade than in all the previous centuries of existence. The scientists of today think deeply instead of clearly. One must be sane to think clearly, but one can think deeply and be quite insane. Tesla, God bless him. Yeah, think extraterrestrial, think global, think other galaxies. Okay, let me cut the cards now and let me shuffle them and see what I'm getting from my viewers now about what's going on in America and what I believe is going to happen post Cohen's testimony to Congress. Okay, we only got a few minutes here. Okay, so this is my new 9-card spread. Okay, there we go. That's our inner consciousness collectively, our outer consciousness, past experiences, expectations, the work to be done, and the results and the outcome. Okay, let's see what we get here now. Well, I started the show with that 8 of Swords because my guides told me we all have been told that we're helpless when actually we're divine. We are stardust. We are golden. Okay, yes. Last year was a year of getting organized for America. Now this is our freedom year now. This is our freedom year. Here's the Hermit. We all have to use our own purse. We all have our own guides, and then we lost track of them when our ego started getting developed. And now it's time to start, getting back our guides. We cried when they left us, but we couldn't have gone through school and learned what we needed. And then when we start transcending our ego, the paradox is our beloved angels come, and a lot of these intelligent guys would call the show, is free will an illusion? No, we get older and we think it's idiotic to even a grown man talking about angels, but they're okay. And this says, yes, there's unseen forces. There's, the 25th of this month. Oh, I'm such a messy person. Yeah, well, we didn't get enough. We didn't talk too much about. Oh, here it is, about the full moon coming up. But to me, the big show in town is what's going on in February. So okay. Yes, we're at a time of prosperity in America. See, that's once again, you've often said I'm not bashing Prince, but a lot of people reach success and they can't handle prosperity or success. Yeah, so it's time now for all of us to, death will pick us up, spin us around, and drop us down deeper in our own life. So here we have, I said we're at a time of prosperity. This is the Fool now. We've all been cleansed through a painful cleansing. I guess to scrape the barnacles off the hull of the ship, it's got to hurt the hull. I believe everything has this consciousness. I believe a boat feels pain. Okay, now we're going to get this youthfulness now. Well, this is going to bring up this America's, it's going to get through the thickness now that, oh no, you didn't. Oh no, you didn't, Donald Trump. Yes, he did. He had people who want us do harm to us. I'm not just saying me because I'm gay. I mean, he wants world domination. He's a mobster. Oh, okay. Well, yes, it's over. This has been hard, but that's how wisdom comes from. And every generation, as maybe now, education. I love Donald Trump. I love the illiterate. I love the uneducated. I love the poor. Yeah, these are, you know, well, as I said, it'll be easier for me. I'm not going to try to force you can't, hearts don't respond to commands. You can't say love, don't love, so I'm just going to wait until he's doing the Thorazine shuffle around some, like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. In the meanwhile now, look for the late numbers, like 28, 27-degree Cancer is on your chart, and go with that. That's the way. That's the way. The present is there. The future for which I really worked is mine. Yes, the past is over. It doesn't say that. My past doesn't judge who I am. Taking from the needy and giving to the greedy. So anyway, I love you. Thank you for all the encouragement to keep on. Because sometimes I wonder why I do this. And then I walk out the door and somebody just tells me they love me. Or they don't love me, but their wife or their husband loves me. And I just love it. I'm having a ball. And thank you. Let's say a little prayer. I believe in the power of prayer. Pray for SF Commons. Pray for San Francisco. It's a corrupt government city. There's a lot of corruption going on in City Hall. Watch Denise Story. She should be here any second. And she'll fill you in on all the happenings here in San Francisco. I love you. Namaste. Come on in. Oh, I can't find this thing now. Oh my God, I'm having trouble turning this. Okay, here.